Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle, and Mark, I got 2 or 3 more days of this dear 100 or 100 degree weather. Next week, it's going to be highs in the 80s.
You want to hear what my weather is the rest of this week, Lyle? Let me tell you.
Probably not.
82 degrees was the high today. We got a low of 62 overnight. Tomorrow is going to be 84 with 66 overnight. And
We
tomorrow,
had 99 today.
I saw that. I check your weather so I can make fun of you when we talk.
Yeah, well, we're going to have 99 tomorrow, too.
I have never in my life on my app for my area seen a little cactus in front of a sun when they're doing the forecast on mine. Only when I check your weather.
A cactus in front of the sun.
It shows a cactus in front of the sun.
If they knew how much humidity we had, they would take the cactus away.
That just makes it worse.
Dude, that humidity was unbelievable today. Probably the worst humidity today that we've had this year. But we went for all that time with no rain, and now we're getting a little bit every day. And so when that sun pops out about 9 in the morning, whoo, she's a steamer.
It's bad. We got hammered on Friday. We had 70-mile-an-hour winds, and wow. we got dumped on for about 3 hours. It was coming down in sheets. It was pretty vengeful night of weather, but we got through it. We didn't get to fish that night, but at least we went out and had some dinner and made it home safe. So we were good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was raining so bad. Hey, look, that Catfish and Crappie jerk. He says, I love Panfish Nation. He's been a member for 4 months, Lyle.
Ain't that awesome? Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. But...
We appreciate it so much. As you know, I had company last week. Just Chad and Dee visited us. Got here Wednesday, left this morning. It was so hot that we didn't get to do a lot of fishing. But Chad and Dee both know how to fly fish now. Chad actually caught fish fly fishing. Dee should have been the one catching it. She actually picked up on it really, really quick.
Did you show him that red fly rod you were saving for me? You said you wouldn't sell to anybody if your life depended on it.
I did not say that.
Yes, he did, Chad.
There's something wrong with that rod. Chad, he was after me to get it to him the whole time he was here, and we took it out and played as much as last night. And he thinks that I just didn't have it all the way in there, but I've put a few of them together, and it just don't feel right to me.
It just doesn't want to fit together right. It just
no, it goes together fine. I just don't something about it. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it. Don't care. As long as it don't break. But I would hate to sell it to somebody, give it to somebody, whatever the case may be, and I'm take it and it break, because that blank was one my brother-in-law picked up for me and brought it to me, and another one, and one of them was a G. Loomis, and I know it's not that one because Gary Loomis never built one unsanded where they're rough finish like the old Ugly Sticks was. He never made one like that. And this one is. So I don't know what brand it is. It's a 9-footer, and it's like a 4-weight, but there's something about it. I'm not sure what it is. Can't lay my finger on it, but so far it's been good. But we had a great time fly fishing. We took the boat, went to the lake. Couldn't find bait. We tried hard. We ended up getting a bluegill, 2 shad, and a drum. And guess what? We didn't catch anything on. But the only bite we had, Chad missed.
See, look at this. Chad says it's mine, but Dad is just keeping it at his house for when I visit again.
Hey, Frank, we had a great time, and we fly fished in the yard. We fly fished on the Niagara River, and we went to Lake of the Ozarks. And Chad now knows what the Lake of the Ozark boats are all about, and he can tell you. And we left before it got bad. We really did. But it was still pretty crowded.
My guests left here on Sunday, and Sheila wanted to go swimming. She's like,
okay,
let's take the boat swimming. I'm like, it's Sunday. It's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. I said, okay, let's go. Oh my God, Lyle. Oh my goodness. Boats 10 feet away from me. It was insane.
Yeah.
So we parked it. We made it down to the beach, and then we parked in a bay and hung out. We took the dogs with us out there for the first time, and they did all right until the traffic got really bad. That scared them a little bit, but we'll keep taking them, but they'll get it figured out.
I'm surprised Cindy is not in here with the life jacket for Star.
We got them life jackets that I believe you guys saw on Facebook. We showed pictures, and those life jackets made it on them for, I don't know, 15 minutes, and they came right off.
We have a life jacket for our little dachshund that when she's in the water, she looks like a shark.
That's awesome. Hey, Lau, what do you say? I start saying hello to people. Looks like we got some people coming in here.
Let's do it.
There's our buddy 922 Crappie Barbecue. How you doing? There's Fields to Water. What's up, Chad? Have a safe ride home, buddy. There's a channel member, Richard, over at Fishing and Freedom, who's looking good in his River Tackles jersey there. I saw pictures of that on Facebook. There's Rhonda from Fishing for Whiskers. Mr. Tully 41 is in the house. There's our buddy Frank. He posted a video on Facebook, I believe, of his family fishing for panfish. I think he was out there camping again.
Nice.
Might have been at the same spot, but that looked like a great trip. There's Josh, the weekend angler, just popped up. Want to be outdoors. Hey, what's going on, Matt? And there's our buddy Wayne Hoska. How you doing, Wayne? Wayne, somebody was asking about somebody who used to make flies way back in the day over on the chain, and I kind of told him I might know the guy who made those. I don't know if it was you or not, but I'd like to think that it was. Wayne made flies for a long time, Lyle. He was telling me in one of my live streams, and he actually did quite a bit of sales a year for the longest time. So he had lived in the area, and then he moved out to the East Coast. If I'm not mistaken.
Freddie's made it in. Welcome, Freddie.
How you doing, Frederick?
I'll have to check out Frank's video. I have not seen it. For some reason, I didn't get notified on it, and for whatever reason,
no, it was on Facebook, I believe.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Or maybe I saw memory or something. I don't recall. I'm kind of trying to stay away from social media until I get what I need to get done every day done, and I've got a lot to do these days.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Keeps you out of trouble and on the water.
Favorite child in the house. Chad says, I've been here, Josh.
I think those two had steak a while ago.
Steak is good.
I think so. It's better if I'm eating it, however.
I got beef ribs thawing in the fridge, Lyle.
I am pretty full, but that does sound pretty good.
Oh, they're pretty good. Pretty good. So well, you got Chad to catch a fish. Did you hold your hand? Did you hold his hand to get him to do it, or what?
No, but I have. After him wading out in the Niagara River with a fly rod, and he's concentrating, man, he's trying hard to get everything just right so he can get on some fish, and I tied up some poppers and stuff for him to use, and if I'd have thought, I'd have snuck out there with that 9-foot fly rod where I could have jiggled that on his leg or something to see if I could make him jump. But I would, and nobody hooked herself with. I was sure that Dee wouldn't, but she, like I say, she picked up on it really quick. But I kept thinking, man, what am I going to do if Chad gets that fly in his ear? I guess I'll have to cut it out.
Come here, Chad. I got just the fix for that. It's more, it's a little easier if you just yank it out of there, Lyle. On two.
Yeah, zip. Oh, man. We did have a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Frank from Twisted Fishing TV says, I make shorter vids for Facebook. I make longer vids for YouTube. It's a shorter version of his last YouTube video. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I got to get over there and see how come if he's making YouTube videos, I'm not getting notified, and I should be. So.
Yeah, join the club.
It happens a lot anymore, don't it?
It sure does. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to say nothing.
Well, I got you. I don't mind. That's just the way it is. But fly fishing and panfish is one of the greatest things that you can do. They're extremely fun. There's Creole. Welcome, buddy. You can catch them on floating bugs up on top of the water. You can get them to where they just sink underneath the surface and float along. Bluegill don't care as long as can see them above them. They'll come up to them. They don't like to go down to them, although they will, but they don't. They'd rather not. Um, and while you're doing that, you can catch small bass. You could probably catch big bass. I haven't, but you probably could. But you can catch smallmouth, largemouth bass, spotted bass. I've caught walleye over the years. I have caught every kind of green sunfish that's imaginable to man over the years. And they're all fun because you're talking about a 9-foot rod that is big around as pencil lead on the end. I mean, they're a blast to do. And it takes very little practice to where you can cast a fly rod. And if you're tying bugs up or making jigs, you can tie bugs. And that's basically what you want. You want the ugliest, nastiest bug that you can come up with, and you don't want it too big because bluegills and most sunfish have a very small mouth.
That's probably why Kim's house flies work so well, right?
I would say that's a lot to do with it. Besides that, they're pretty cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
They really
look like
are.
a little wad of lint to me, but I guess that's what a fly looks like in the water. So,
yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure that's right. Matt says go together like bacon and eggs, fly fishing and panfish. That is 100% correct. Creole says my grandfather loved fly fishing, pan fishing, and bass. Mark Barnum says fly fishing for panfish and hooking a bass is fun. Yes, it is. And you know, Mark, a bass 8, 10, 12 inches long is a handful on a fly rod. So if you got a big one.
I still think panfish fight harder. I don't care what anybody says. Panfish pound for pound, I'd rather catch all day. To be honest.
I have to agree with you. I've caught a lot of bass over the years, and they're fun to catch. But an 8 or 10 inch bluegill, 8, 9-inch bluegill, man, they're a lot of fun. And like I say, on a fly rod, in my mind, is like a 9-foot ultralight, pretty much. Hey, welcome, Greg. Glad to have you in here tonight.
How you doing, Greg? What's
Thank
going
you for
on?
subscribing. We appreciate it so very much. But yeah, it's like a 9-foot or an 8-foot ultralight. And they're a bunch of fun. Like I say, a little bit of practice. They don't cost that much, and you can buy fly reels way down the line. I found this one. I forgot I'd bought it. I bought it for my one that Charlie Redding made me. This is a Martin. I've had this for probably.
Let me give you a solo here, Lyle, so we can see that a little better.
I've probably had this for 25 years or more. I found it out of the box on the shelf in the garage with the paperwork still stuck in it. It had never had line, backing, tippet, or anything on it. And I thought, wow, I forgot about buying this. So I got backing and fly line and lined her up and made a tippet for it. And it was just laying here. And I didn't realize that when Chad had bought Dee for a birthday or something, a fly rod that I built for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a reel. I knew he got a reel, but they never set it up. So when we took Dee out to the angle, we put this reel on it, let her use that. And she enjoyed it very much. So we went to Bass Pro Shop one day, and Chad bought him a fly rod reel combination. It was fun watching him spend his money.
I'm sure it was. You know, Chad's got that Chad Fields money, and now we got something to prove it. We won't get into that just now. We'll reveal that later.
But he did. He bought a bunch of stuff, and I was trying to help him all I could.
Did he get a new boat, is my question.
No, he didn't get a new boat, but he did get a new cleaning table like the one I had, which it was on sale like it was when I bought mine. It was a very good deal.
Well, you were trying to get him to buy that now for probably 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit, yeah. He got a fish fryer, which very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to catch fish and clean them, or if Dee's going to catch fish and he's going to clean them, he needs to be able to fry them. So now he's got a fryer. He bought that fly rod. What else did he get? Not enough. I mean,
Did he get a second 22-inch Garmin to go on his boat?
No. Well, I tell you, they had the nicest outside cooking thing. I don't know what you really call it. It was round and it was $400 and it had all kinds of cool stuff that went with it. But you could just use it as a burn thing if you want to sit around the fire at night, or you could cook on it. And I thought I had him talked into buying it. I really like to have one myself, but I know I'd get in trouble if I bought one. But they are way cool. Way cool. And
you heard the saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission, right?
Not all the time, no. That's not necessarily true.
But it was on clearance. There are no returns.
But it wasn't. And we're too close to there. Chad might have got away with that.
Matt over at Want to Be Outdoors says, tried catching a walleye or a skipjack on a fly rod, Mark. That's crazy and a long fight.
I can only imagine a skipjack. Skipjack, I said for years, if bass fishermen would catch skipjack, the bass tournaments as we know them would be over. Because skipjack fight a lot harder than bass do. And if you caught one of them on a fly rod, whew, they don't call them Tennessee tarpon for no reason at all. They're very quick, very fast. They fight hard, and man, they're a blast to catch.
You know, one of the things that I've always wanted to do is catch a northern pike on a streamer on a fly rod. I want to watch that slime rocket come in there and follow it in some shallow water and watch it just nail that thing. I think that would be fun. Thrill.
Yep, that would be great. Can't ask for forgiveness if you're in ICU from the beach.
Hold on, I'll go back to yours, Creole. I got to see that one for myself. Oh, that was Creole too. Well, you wouldn't be in ICU if you started building that house, Jeremy. Jeremy also says this was back in the 50s. He hooked quite a few double-digit bass on that fly rod. Dad still has some old pictures. There you go.
That would be cool.
Mark Barnum says a number 12 green woolly worm is a great panfish fly for him.
I bet so. Woolly worms are one of the all-time favorites for people that fish for panfish or trout, either one. They're a great bug to use because they are so buggy. It looks like a bug with lots of legs on it. And in the water, fish love them.
I have to admit, the whole fly fishing world has some pretty colorful names for everything, don't they?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
And fancy outfits, too.
Yeah, no, I don't get into that too much, but I enjoy going out and catching bluegill regardless. Now, if I could catch the ones big enough to eat all the time, like the ones you guys been catching up there by you are giants.
Those are pretty good.
I'd be eating them. Yeah, I don't care if it made somebody mad. I'd be eating them because they're good eating. Hey, Brandon.
922 Crappie Barbecue says, I was just given a Fluger Super EX number 755. Any good? He's asking. I have no clue, Lyle. You have any experience with the Fluger ones?
I'm not aware of that one at all.
Yeah, Betty said that she put a GPS waypoint. I should have thrown her at that spot. I should have thrown her phone in the water when she wasn't looking. Instead, she got a picture of me sleeping under a tree.
That was pretty good, though.
Yeah, I'm still mad at her for that.
She
better not come. She better not come in here.
She's in here.
Oh, I didn't say that, did I?
Oh man.
Grill Catfish says, I caught a few shoe pecks on a fly rod. Talk about a fight. Is that a bowfin, a shoe peck, or is that a gabbergoo is a drum and a shoe peck is okay, I got it right. A bowfin. People that can't use a fly rod use a spinning rod with a bubble, with a 9-foot light leader line, and fly and jig. That's what I do, Wayne. I use one of those bubble floats, I call them. They're those clear ones I've shown you before, Lyle. That's what he's talking about.
I have actually used a spinning reel, an ultralight spinning reel on my fly rods before to catch crappie.
Is it kind of like using a spinning reel on a casting rod?
No, those
people get looked at real funny.
No, you don't even know the difference when you're doing that, but yeah, they're a lot of fun. And Richard, yes, let me get back to that. Where are we at here? Yes, that will be happening next May. It will be. I actually have a 9-weight that I got. I've had it for a year and haven't built it yet. That's what it's for, is to go up there. I think I've got 2 of those blanks, but I just had so much going on. I got to tell you, it is so hot in that garage, even with the air conditioner going, you can't hardly stand it out there. It's just miserable. And but one more week, when this week is over, next week is only going to be in the 80s. So we're dropping at least 10 degrees.
Still got 2 months of this pleasurable weather, Lyle. Don't count your chickens for the hedge.
Well, you can't call it pleasurable. You just can't. It's not true. There's nothing pleasurable about triple-digit temperatures. Now, I don't care what anybody says. It's miserable. It will always be miserable. It's sort of like below zero weather in the wintertime, except warmer.
You have 70 degrees at Christmas. Don't start talking about
not all the time.
I don't believe you. What's up, Lance? How you doing, bud? There's Curtis. How you doing, Curtis? What's going on, bud? Pork Chop Outdoors in the house. How are you doing? We got all sorts of people popping in.
Yeah, we're glad to have them all. Richard, I'll let you know when we get up there and all that stuff's going on. We'll get together and we'll go out and do that, because I can't wait to get one of them teenage or bigger channel cats on that fly rod. I think that would just be the berries myself.
Frank says, I don't fly fish, though. I don't use center pins either. Spinning and casting are my game. Have you ever seen a center pin reel, Lyle?
Yes.
What's up with them? I know they look just like a fly reel.
I'm not sure. I've seen them. I've not ever played around with one, so I can't give an honest evaluation. Okay. I just can't.
I have enough tackle for now.
No, you don't. James and I will help you get more.
I made enough big purchases this week. We're not getting into that here, though.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Mark Barnum says, having been a fly fisher for so long in the West, I have so many flies that work for a lot of species. My favorite trout flies were size number 22 midges.
Little bitties. 22.
Buddy says she's still sending the exact pinpoint location to Mark's bluegill spot message. Don't you do that, Betty?
What is the cost of that, Betty G?
No, you're coming. Aren't you? You're coming this. I'm using this to bribe Lyle into coming out here. That, and we're going to send him pictures of all the food that I fed you.
Dude, I seen some pictures of some of the stuff you all ate. That looked pretty damn tasty.
We did good. But we're going to try and talk about fishing more than food this one. That was a promise I made to myself. It's hard for me, but you understand.
I do. Pork Chop Outdoors. Welcome. Mike Sampson, welcome.
What's up, Sampy? How you doing, bud? Pork Chop Outdoors.
Stone Outdoors. Sean T. We got some people coming in now. You know, Mark, we give away a collection of jigs. And Richard won those of Fishing and Freedom. They're on his way to him now. I would like to do that again, but for flies, a box of flies to our channel members. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
People that's interested in flies.
Maybe it will inspire some people to get out there and fly fish like myself.
It's a lot of fun. Now, I actually, and I wanted to go over this, and we might have should have called Dockery in on this. James Dockery has got a fly rod that he bought at Walmart, and he told me what he gave for it, and I don't remember. Don't care. Doesn't matter.
I think I remember him telling us that night. Yeah, it was very affordable.
It was very affordable. Now, they would have scared me a little bit, but then I've been doing it for a while, and he was learning, and he just figured if he didn't like it, he wouldn't have a lot invested in it. But I think James does like it because I sent him some flies here a while back. There's a video that I watched the other day that a guy has some nice fly rods, and I should have saved the link for it. But this guy has an Orvis, and he has a Sage.
Those are. I looked at some of those when I did a Google search for fly rods,
and
I looked at those prices, and I about fell out of my office chair.
They're very nice, and he bought. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you so much for some snacks. I like snacks.
Thank you, Wayne.
He bought a $30 fly rod at Walmart because he went somewhere and he didn't take his, and he wanted to fly. He wanted to do some fishing, and he made a video about this. And other than the cheap reel seat and artificial cork, and I'm not sure what that's all about, he said the rod itself was very usable, but the reel seat and the handle, the grip, was horrible. But other than that, everything else on it was very usable. It comes spooled up with backing fly line, a tippet on it. All you had to do is tie up some stuff. He done that, and Creole. But yeah, he was very very good outcome on that, and he for $30, you can't go wrong. If you use it a couple of times, throw it away.
I would say I saw those prices.
Orvis makes some pretty good stuff. Fenwick makes some really good stuff. The one that Charlie Redding made me in 1984, which is laying up there on shelf, is built on a Fenwick blank. Fenwick is not quite as expensive as some of the others, but it's really high quality stuff. Fenwick blanks, in my mind, and it doesn't matter which blank you buy, whether it be a fly rod, a panfish, an ultralight, light action, or something other than that. Every Fenwick blank that I ever used or built on would rank in the top 5 worldwide, in my mind.
I have a 9.5 HMX Fenwick rod that I use for salmon, a medium, because I'm fishing off the bank for them, at least when I did in the past I did. And to this day, I still think that's one of the better rods that I own.
There you go. I like that.
No.
A Charlie Redding like this one I got up here, that one was $875 in 1983. At least 2-year waiting list. At least. Maybe more than that now.
That's like a Lyle Stokes fishing rod.
Well, kind of. What's Frank say? Should make a full custom rain shadow blank panfish fly rod. Maybe. But I just I like to catch them. Richard says my fly rod came with line and tippet on it. Tippet seems really long. How long should I run it? You can cut them off. You can buy them anywhere from 6 foot or 5 or 6 foot to 9 foot long. I've never seen a tippet over 9 foot. I would never have a tippet longer than the rod myself, and I prefer them to be shorter than the length of the rod. That way, it doesn't keep getting sucked up in the the top, the tip, top, and down in the guides. Because
The first eye, right? Are they still called eyes on a fly rod?
What's that?
Are they still called eyes on a fly rod?
I call them guides.
Guides. Okay, sorry.
No, no problem. Yeah, man. There's
How you fly fishermen are awfully fancy and bougie.
I seen some. Cindy's talking about Chad playing with my wiener all week.
I was getting there. Shanti Outdoor says Creole. Chad touched it. I would ask for a refund. That rod is jinxed now.
I'm not sure he ever put his hands on it, but he took a lot of pictures and sent them to Jeremy. The guys had so much fun. It was funny.
Fenwick is truly top 2 most universal rods.
Yeah, I got to go with that too. They make some of the highest quality stuff, and I know St. Croix ranks right up in there. But for what you get from St. Croix, they're way, way, way overpriced. I buy blanks that are a lot higher quality for a lot less money. They just are. And I like St. Croix rods. I build a lot of them for people. They say, I want such and such blank. Well, that makes it easy because people know what they want. You don't have to try to figure out what they're looking for. They done the research. They know exactly what they want. So I just order them up and get them in here.
I think Chad's in a car, so I want to make sure that you read this one to him in case
Okay.
he's not looking at chat.
Creole says, Sean T, at least one rod that Chad has touched will have caught fish. I know he touched a couple of mine and caught fish.
Frank says, who is going to be the first to Carolina rig a fly rod to try and catch a flathead? You know, a flathead will take anything artificial. You can catch them on a crappie fly. Why not a regular fly? So if you can get them out in front of them, I'm sure they'll come up and slurp that sucker up. So make sure you got a decent hook in it. So
I watched a video where a guy caught a little flathead on a fly rod the other day. And put up a heck of a fight. Took him a while to get it in. It would probably weigh 2.5, 3 pounds. But that's a lot of flatheads. Trout do not fight like flatheads do.
No.
So if you get one on, the battle is begun. So 9-foot leader and a 2-foot tippet is what I like. That's a good setup. I have also been looking at some of the guys that I know for over the years. Some of them are on YouTube and stuff that are using 2 flies on a tippet, and they're using one as a tension getter and the other to catch the fish. And that's something.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian. Glad to see you in here, buddy. We talked about you the other day, Brian. Believe it or not, Chad was all good. I was shocked. We decided that one day we'd both like to go out and fish the Potomac, but if we come out there, you'd be the one we want to fish with. So we agreed on that, believe it or not. So
again, I'm not invited with you two.
No, it's just if we got to go. If we ever got to go, not whether we went together or went singly, or if we got to go out to fish the Potomac, Brian would be the guy we want to fish with. So thought that was kind of cool. We agreed on that. Richard, you have the fly line, the leader, and the tippet. Yeah, then the tippet. Yeah. I added an extra bite to your rod in case Chad did touch your new fishing rod.
Way to go, D. Frank says steelhead are fun, fast, and acrobatic aerobic. But no, not even close to a flathead on raw power.
I agree. I've never caught a steelhead. That's something that I kind of like to do sometime, but I never have for whatever reason. will believe in
Chad
my
says one
skills.
day people will believe in my skills. The Chinese buffet does not count, Chadwick.
I don't know. I kind of like Chinese buffets.
My money's on Lyle at that.
You know, I don't know how Chad lives no more than he eats. He eats several times a day, but he don't eat enough to feed a mouse most of the time. I don't know how he does that. I can eat as many meals a day as he does, and a whole lot more. But then again, I got all this going on.
What I tell my wife is that this is a solar panel and this is a battery.
You're storing up, are you?
I'm storing up. I'm not going to repeat what I tell her the battery and the solar panel are for, but you get
Yeah, I
my
got you, buddy. I got some ideas like that myself. Matt says double flies are very effective. Tie the double fly like you would a dropper loop. That's exactly what I'd plan to do. So I think that'll be a lot of fun, and I'll try that out to Niagara. Um, One of the things that I kept Chad and Dee away from was I fish underneath that bridge, and you got about a 4 foot deal. Now they fished around the bridge, off the top of the bridge, and beside the bridge, but you have to sidearm cast to get underneath that bridge. Where and when it's 100 degrees outside, that's where the fish go. They get in the shade, and
Yep.
I was getting one every once in a while underneath there, but I didn't want them to learn any of my bad habits doing sidearm stuff until they had the basics 10 to
Mm-hmm.
1 down pat, which they both picked up on it really quick and done really well. But like I say, I do some things that's kind of unconventional. And for somebody starting out, they didn't need to be doing the shit I was doing.
I understand. You had mentioned right under the shady spot where they were at, and that's exactly where they were at when it was like 97 degrees here.
Exactly.
We looked for a bunch of them. I walked over and found a tree and a little bit of shade, and they were stacked under there.
I'll bet so. Chad, I believe in you. Trust me. I believe you dream a lot about catching fish. Sean, that's funny. That's funny. Lance says, I want a fly rod to catch king salmon. Well, Lance, shouldn't be an issue because they make fly rods that catch them tarpon down in Florida. So if they can catch tarpon on a fly rod, you ought to be able to catch
In
king.
Alaska, they catch a lot of them on fly rods.
That would be cool.
And there's Brian saying, I believe in you, Chad. Forget the haters. They're just jealous, buddy.
I'm quite sure you're right. I am quite sure you're right. Frank says, I keep a layer of stored food in case of survival situations. I got that, man.
Wayne is asking me, Mark, do the forest preserve lakes still stock the lakes with trout? Yes, a lot of them definitely do. In April and in October, if I'm not mistaken. I know in April it's 2 times a year, but I mean they're gone after like a week, and it's combat fishing for the first 2 days.
Grail says, the more you weigh, the harder you are to kidnap. I'm just thinking of my own safety. I can appreciate that. I really can.
D says, Brian, you made Chad smile. They got a bromance going on in Chad here.
All right. Mark Barnum says, Iowa stocks the creeks in northeast Iowa with trout. That is how I started fly fishing in the late 70s. Very nice. I've talked about this before, Mark, but Bennett Springs Wildlife or Trout Park is 20 minutes from me.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And it's one of the largest, I think it is the largest trout park in the state of Missouri.
Is it a hatchery as well?
It's a hatchery. That's what makes it the largest.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's Montauk and there's several others, but Bennett Springs is always so crowded. But my brother-in-law and I used to go down there and fish that a lot. I just don't like to eat trout, and they die so quickly when you catch them. For the most part, I mean, if you get one and you get it right back in the water, it might survive. But if you mess around with them at all. They're not going to survive.
They don't last too long.
And they're not that good at table fare. They're just not.
The guys who are hardcore, stream fishermen that fish for trout and of all the species, even the salmonids, they don't even like taking them out of the water. They might pull them out of the water for a picture for a split second. That's after they wet their hands down and such and such.
I was just getting ready to say
there's definitely a reason for that. I mean, if you're fishing for stockers with power bait, man, you gut hook one, they make sure you take them home here. If they catch you putting them back, they'll holler at you. It's not against the rules, but they'll holler at you because they're going to die. It's like a waste.
I'm with you on that. I think that probably happens a lot. I think a lot of times they are, but trout are so easy to catch. It's harder to catch them on a fly rod than it is just to go down there and catch them. There's an area where they clean fish all the time, and trout are extremely cannibalistic. So if you tie you up a red and white woolly booger and you go in there, you can catch trout. If you take a piece of white bread and knead it up real tight and like in a small ball, like the size of a salmon egg, and throw it in there, you're going to catch trout. They're not hard to catch, but they are hard to catch on a fly rod. You're very welcome, D. You're very welcome. We used to just trophy hunt, head hunt down there, walk up and down the stream, and because once they get so old, they take the big sows out and they release them to be caught. But basically, they go over by the deep side of the bank and they just lay there. And they eat sometime, but it was never when I was.
I've been out on these stocker trout opening days, and it'll be a hot bite first thing. First hour, everybody will get a bunch. If you don't get your limit of 5, you're going to be there a while because either the ones that are left don't know how to bite, or they just get line shy with all the action, or they're just swimming around. A lot of times they swim around in big circles. So if you're fishing in like one of the larger forest preserve spots, it takes them a while to get to you.
Exactly. Frank says stocker trout are great for cut bait. They are, but I can't use them in Missouri. I wished I could. I believe, and not most, I'm not going to say most because I don't know that for a fact, but a lot of the states, if you catch bait or a fish legally, you can do whatever you want to with it. And I would love to see Missouri do that. Why? Because every bass that I take out of there will eat less crappie and bluegill, which I don't care about the bass. I do care about the crappie and the bluegill. And I like to eat them. I just do. And bass are eatable. Are they bluegill and crappie? No, they are not. But they're eatable. So's Asian carp. So's drum. I can't believe I said that. Oh, left a bad taste in my mouth. But you know what the point is. The point is, if I can catch drum and use it for bait, even though they don't catch fish, or if I catch bluegill, it doesn't matter what it is. Once I catch it, it's mine. I should be able to do whatever I want to with it. And if that means use it for bait, so be it. Now, could I do a crappie that way? Probably not, because I like them where they're supposed to be right here. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
They're extremely good eating, so why would you waste it for bait? You could say the same thing about bluegill.
I'm willing to try, and I have tried crappie for bait, and they work pretty darn good. And
that's what I hear.
I'll burn a short one here and there for bait. Not a problem with it at all.
Yeah, I would use.
Am I going to put a 10, 11, 12 incher on a hook? No. I'll take the head off of them after I get the fillets off the side. Both of them this time, not just one.
Yeah.
And I'll use the head, and I've done that in the past. So
Richard agrees with me 100%. And like I say, I don't believe in using channel cat for bait. I know a lot of people that do it where it's legal to do. I don't like it. I would rather they didn't do it. But if it's legal, you can't say don't do that because it's legal. It's just the way it is. And I've seen Mark with Bill of Rights Fishing down in Oklahoma. Cut up them channel cat, chunk them up, and put them on and catch them big blues down there. So it works.
Frank says salmon and steelhead are good smoked, grilled, or made into dip. As far as bait, we can use any legally caught fish for bait here. He's in Indiana, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that is correct.
Trout is good in dip. Salmon is definitely good smoked or grilled, as far as I'm concerned.
Common carp makes some of the best salmon patties type stuff you've ever ate. My buddy Terry Conroe's wife cans it, puts it in a pressure cooker. All the bones are gone, and they make tuna salad sandwiches out of carp. They all kinds of stuff like that. She also does deer meat that way, and chunks it up into little chunks and makes deer meat gravy in the mornings with biscuits and stuff. It's amazing. Rosemary is a great cook, and she knows all them old tricks and things. My God, she put up a Terry all these years. I don't know how she done that to start with, but she fed him, So, but yeah, she can, and he likes to catch them common carp. Well, let's face it, he fishes the Mississippi River in a 16-foot John boat with a 40-horse motor on it. Them carp put up a hell of a fight in the Mississippi River now. I'm not kidding. And they're fun to catch, but he likes to catch them. So there you go.
Richard says, I watched Pig Patrol use small live channels for flathead and wore them out.
Yep. It's just a personal thing of mine. Catfish is a catfish. If you leave them alone, they'll grow up big enough that you can eat them. But I know that Mark in Oklahoma catches a lot of them on, and I seen the video you're talking about, Richard. And they do really well. They are great flathead bait. And I think I probably would never do it, but if I did, I would be using little channel cat just about 10 inches long.
If I
about
could
the size of a big bullhead.
If I could have an endless supply of like 6 to 7 inch baby carp, those work great on a float. If I'm fishing the bottom, I'm fishing with shad if I have my choice. Shad, bullhead, or green sunfish. Shad for the
green sunfish are great bait.
Yeah, that movement draws them in.
One of the things that I always thought would be awesome is if you could catch Asian carp and use them for live bait for flathead. They're flashy, they stink, their eyes are on the bottom of their head like a dumbass fish would have. They're supposed to be up on top of their head. The thing about them is, in the state of Missouri, if you catch them, whether you get them in a net or whether you catch them snagging them or how, it's illegal to release them. You can't keep them in your boat alive, so you can't use them for bait. And they work for cut bait. The hotter the weather seems like the better they work. But I would love to try them live for flathead bait, but it's illegal to do that in the state of Missouri.
The Asian carp, they use that at Powerton in the winter, and they do well in the winter over there. But that's also warm, hot water discharge.
It's cut bait, though, right?
Yeah, cut bait, definitely.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's hot water, I mean, that water is warm compared to the sub-zero temperature.
They don't have the Asian carp in there, do they?
They do. They definitely do. Every time that Illinois River floods right next door to it, they come in there.
Oh, okay. Then they already know what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do.
They don't seem to work real good in a place that doesn't have them in there, but if they're natural source to them, blue cats love them, and so do flatheads. I know they do.
But going back to what you said, I brought home some frozen skipjack up here, and I tried catching even channel cats with it. Not even a bite either. So, I don't know if they're picky or if it just didn't work out that couple of days I tried it or not.
I say about chicken, they're not natural bait. I don't care what them guys say. Have you ever seen a chicken swim around your river?
I have not.
I rest my case.
Our chickens have long necks that go honk, honk, honk.
Now that is a subject that has been brought up to me. What is the difference between a chicken and a duck or a goose that's swimming around? A lot. You don't see a duck or a goose cockle-doodle-doo in the morning.
Mm. This is true. I've seen baby ducks get smashed by both bass and pike here.
Absolutely, bass.
It'll scare you to death if you know what I mean, because you're never ready for it.
Creel says, I can never catch smaller Asian carp for bait. The ones I catch are huge. It's like processing a side of beef on the front of my neck. Creel, just the tenderloin out of the back of them and whatever juices roll out of there, put them in a Ziploc bag and let that go in there and then zip it up. You can't. The only way that I've ever been able to catch the little ones is below a dam on the Mississippi River. They'll be in there next to the gate where you're not supposed to be, but you can sneak up in there once in a while and throw a net and get all of them you want. Probably
we do not condone breaking the rules the DNR is put into place.
I do not. I know guys that do it all the time, though. 7-inch Asian carp would be deadly on the Missouri. Absolutely. They look a lot like a shad when they're little. They just do. But yeah, I'm not telling you to go do that. I'm just saying I know what happens. But you can't. Goose is much darker meat chicken. That's a fact. But damn, they're good eating. Wow. There's Asian carp in the White River now in Batesville. Wow. That's a shocker to me. For those who's not familiar with the Arkansas area, Batesville's a home of Mark Martin, NASCAR driver extraordinaire.
They had a big scare about the Asian carp getting into Lake Michigan, and that they put electric gates up and stuff for them, and to this day I don't think they've made them up into there. So
I wonder if it's not just too cold up there in the wintertime. But I'm going to tell you, Mark, if they want in there, there's nothing they're going to do to stop them. They'll get in there eventually. It's just the people that brought them over to do the studies back whenever they've done that, they should find them. They should castrate them, sew them up, whatever it takes, and make them work the rest of their lives for nothing to try to eradicate them. That was the worst possible thing that they could have done to the Mississippi River system, which includes the Arkansas, the Ohio, anything that drains into the Mississippi. Because if it drains into the Mississippi, it's got Asian carp in it. If it don't, it will have. That's just the way it is.
Chad says, are we Talbot about fly fishing for carp?
A lot of people do fly fish for carp. I have not ever done that. But
they do. They put little sponges around here. I know a couple guys that do it. They put a little piece of sponge on the end, and they put like a strawberry or a pineapple type oil that the guys mix into their pack bait. They just put a little couple of drops in there. But mostly in the spring is when I see them doing that here.
Is that like strawberry chicken?
Kind of, but it's strawberry sponge.
Okay.
Maybe they think it's sponge cake. I don't know. I like sponge cake.
I do too. Not that kind, though. Matt says, yes, Chad, all you need is a black fly, like a beetle.
PA Trapping and Outdoors says, hope they don't ever make it to the
Allegheny
River.
I don't think they can get there because there's no, unless somebody takes them over and puts them in there. And I've heard horror stories that they are in the Lake of the Ozarks. But I'm telling you, that dam that separates the Lake of the Ozarks from the Osage River is so tall, and there's no opening for it to go back up through. If there is any in there, can you imagine the devastation it'd be when they start jumping up them skiers and sea doers by the millions down there the other day?
Now, are there Asian carp like in Georgia and Florida?
If they are, somebody had to put them in there because unless they got out anything that's not connected to Mississippi River Valley, there shouldn't be any unless somebody took them over and dumped them in there. Shouldn't be. Because they can't get there. If they don't have a clear path to swim, somebody has to transport them. And that's what gets you in lots of trouble. Hi, Tina. Glad to see you later tonight. Thank you.
Hi, Tina Ladybug. How you doing? Danny Stone made it back.
I lost signal on the phone, had to run home and jump on the laptop. Well, that sounds like a deal.
I've seen Danny drive. He probably got home real quick.
But yeah, there's no clear path of water to get to them places unless somebody hauls them out there and dumps them in, and that could happen. But that's the same way with Lake Ozark. I've never seen one in. I don't know of anybody that's caught them, but I've heard stories that have. We got up there the other day and dropped the boat in, and there's 6 or 8 sea doers just sitting there waiting for their buddies to show up. We go fishing, and pretty soon, zoom, there they went up the lake. 15, 20 minutes later, zoom, here they come back, and there was 3 times that many with them. And the whole day was like that. They run around. Oh, my God. That's
Sunday, we had 2 guys in $500,000 boats wanting to drag race like best out of 5, it seemed like, in front of us.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
We heard one of them big boys start up there the other day. It sounded like a race car motor. Never seen him shower down on it, but he was probably at least a half a mile from us, and it sounded like he was right next to us.
They do sound pretty darn good, though, don't they?
Matt says that would be devastating but hilarious to watch. Those pleasure boaters get some of their own medicine. Well, that is true. I can't deny that, but really don't want that to happen. But back to the Asian carp, one of the worst places in the world for Asian carp is the Illinois River. And I don't know what it is about the Illinois River, but it's got more of them in there than any place I've ever been in my life. And I've been a lot of places. Mississippi's full of them. Missouri River's full of them. The Ohio River's got them in there. But that Illinois,
it's loaded. It must be like perfect scenario for them over there.
It must be. And they got tons of people that take you out and let you bow shoot them in the air. They have a tournament over there. I forgot what it's called now, where you're allowed to take them by any means. Any means.
So you can have a shotgun out there?
They try everything. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm thinking it would be a good time, but I might be a little past that in my old age. But my buddy Keith used to want to do that. He used to wanted me to take my trap gun and go out there, and we'd take turns shooting them things out of the air. And I said, I'm not taking that gun out there around all that water. But, it would be a lot of fun. Bow shooting them looks like a lot of fun, but I may be able to pull my bow back now. I've got most of my strength back in my shoulder, but I've got it set up for bow shooting. But after them shoulder surgeries, I couldn't pull back, but I still got everything to do it with. So,
yeah, I see Tim Wells do that in a bunch of videos.
Fun. I used to shoot gar and drum and all the trash fish, carp. I used to shoot all them with my bow a long time ago. The Redneck Roundup. That's it, Richard. Yep.
Folks in football helmets, pants. Looks like fun. Sounds like a good time.
I'm telling you. Dude, you'll look it up on the internet, on YouTube.
Maybe we got another meet and greet to arrange, Lyle.
I don't even want to drive somebody around. Man, I'm telling you, them babies hurt when they hit you upside the head.
That's what the helmets are for.
I guess. Throw a couple of tannerite in the water. I've never been around that stuff, but I'd like to have some of it.
You can get it at any gun shop, I believe.
Really? I don't. I probably better leave it alone.
You got a field behind your house, don't you, Lyle?
I do have a field behind.
There you go.
But that's not. I want that field left for one reason.
Oh, I got an idea. We'll talk after the show.
Okay. Asian carp skeet shooting, Creole says. That's right, buddy. Well, as far as I know, unless they've changed it, it used to be you take them Asian carp by any means. Most weight wins. So,
could you use shock? Can you shock them out of the water?
You'd have to have a generator.
Easy enough done. I got
11,000
water in the garage.
I have one too.
The jumper cables were in business.
That's exactly right. 10 pounds will take the fenders off a car. I heard. Sounds like experience talking there to me.
I know nothing at all.
I don't either. But we're not going to tell Laura unless she's listening to the show tonight. Fun show tonight, Mark. Thanks a lot.
We always have fun. Hopefully, I'll get into this fly fishing pretty soon. We'll have to go out. I got a couple of things cooking right now. Maybe after that, we'll get us a rod, or maybe I'll ask for one for Christmas. But I definitely want to get into it. I got to give it a try. 100%. What do you got going on Monday on Catfish Weekly?
I don't know yet.
I'm not sure what I'm doing on Monday. I think I'm going to fish live depending on the weather. I'm waiting to hear back from a guest. So one way or the other, if I have a guest, if the guest can make it, I'll definitely have the guest on. If not, I'll go fishing. I'm thinking about going fishing tomorrow night. I might go live for my members or for everybody. I don't know yet. We'll see, but I'm going to get out there tomorrow and do a little bit of fishing. I got to test some stuff out in the boat that I got some questions about, and we'll see. I'm not going to do that while I'm live streaming. So
yeah. So we're going to have another 100-degree day tomorrow, and I'm going to be waiting until next week when the temperature goes down. Cindy had a little mishap the other day, and let her get healed up a little bit. And her and I will be out fishing some next week. I can't wait. We're going to have a good time, and hopefully we can find some bait. That was an issue the other day. It's usually not, but it was the other day. And hopefully that it won't be, and we can get on some bait. And if not, then we'll go catch some bluegill and stuff, and we'll do that. So
very good.
Look forward to the cool weather.
Before we head out, I want to remind everybody to keep Kenneth Powell take down catfishing in your prayers. Definitely keep Wayne in your prayers. He wasn't feeling well not too long ago. Hopefully he's gotten past that. I haven't heard either way. And everybody else in the Catfish family. Kevin from K&B, you want to definitely keep him in his prayers too. If you guys can afford to give to either one of those fundraisers, I know they can both. They both probably need our help. So
absolutely.
If you can afford it, give what you can. Definitely.
And don't ever think that what you can give is too small amount. There's no such thing.
Absolutely. Lyle, I had fun. Absolutely. So
me too. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week on Panfish Nation.
Good night, everybody.